I'll be frank with you, when I was 12 years old, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Then when they started this scout troop and I was one of the charter members, I got into it and learned the scout oath and the promise and all, and that to me was like the Bible. The scout oath and the promise. Scout is trustworthy, loyal, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. You live up to those, and that'll make a good person out of you.
Every Tuesday night, in my case, at St. Mark's Episcopal Church at Troop 7 in Little Rock, Arkansas, would stand up at the beginning of every meeting and say, "On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout laws, to help other people at all times, and to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight." Initially, it's just words, but as you say it over and over and over and over again, and then have to define it as you go through a different rank advancement, it starts taking on real meaning.
Valores entendidos. It's understood values. Things that people already know, things that people already understand, that really transcend language, transcend culture. It's a universal kind of feeling that we as human beings can embrace across the board.
I thought my scoutmaster, I thought my den mother, I thought they were surrogate parents to me.
You know, when I was in scouting, I really didn't recognize the long-term value. I enjoyed it. I had my friends in it. I learned from the adults, the den mothers and the scout leaders. I learned so much from them. But as I've gotten older and understand the real value of scouting, it's almost generational in scope. It's almost passing down immutable truths to the next generation.
My early involvement in scouting was a good one in the sense that I became a part of a group. I started to learn some skills. I learned how to develop some self-confidence. And I think all of those things has helped me as I've gone on in life. I think as kids get involved in scouting, it's that self-confidence, it's that ability to achieve.
You don't just go from being a tenderfoot to being an Eagle Scout. There's a process that has to be followed in between. And within that process, that whole process is teaching life skills, very valuable life skills to our boys.
It starts with a belief system that our young people are far more capable than often we give them credit. And if we are willing to teach them, and if we are willing to hand them responsibility, they'll always surprise us in terms of what they can do.
I've been doing it now off and on for the last 30 years. And honestly, I don't see that much difference between youth then and youth now.
The children see the fun. The children see the fellowship that other children and all the activities that are behind that.
Scouting relies on the outdoors, camping experiences, opportunities to plan and lead and work with teammates to achieve and survive. And those are fundamental skills that serve an individual for a lifetime.
As far as I'm concerned, it's the best boys organization in the whole world to teach young boys how to live a decent life and how to achieve things and how to amount to something.
If you take a look at the first Boy Scout handbook, one of the skills they were teaching young people is how to control a runaway horse. Quite frankly, in Denver, that's not something we have to worry about too much anymore. Now we're teaching young people how to safely get involved in things that are on the internet.
Clearly the internet's going to have an extraordinary impact. I mean, it's what the kids today live and breathe by. So the leadership of scouting needs to be tuned into the technological and innovative changes that the internet and everything that's spawning from that are bringing.
One of the things that we are looking at is do a cyber troop. Half the kids are from the Moscow area and half of them are from the Denver area.
Virtual troop meetings perhaps will be a thing of the future.
Your merit badge counselor could be in St. Petersburg or it could be in Mexico City.
Scouting is international in nature. It is something that I have seen from the streets of southern Texas to the streets of Jerusalem.
It's kind of neat to know that there are other people who also recite the Scout Law and the Scout Oath at all your meetings.
I think that it's so popular because we teach young men and young women throughout the world to have a better way of life.
Things that you learn in Scouts are the bricks for the foundation of life that you build. And they're very special bricks, I think.
I think that Scouting has to be in a position where we can continue to teach the kind of things that we want to teach and that we think are so vital for young people, but be able to use some of these new techniques that are out there in the community.
Kids are going to join something. They have a need to belong to something. And rather than have them find it on their own, why not let's get them started early in Scouting?
I'm one of the millions of guys who really benefited from having Scouting as a major part of my growing up.
To me, Scouting was more about being a team member and being accepted as an equal than it was almost anything else.
Scouting is enormously relevant right now. Scouting has always been enormously relevant. Scouting will always be relevant because it's fun.
The Scouting values and the Scouting principles and the Scouting story has equipped us to be able to continue to make progress, to help others make progress, and to work toward a far happier and more successful life.
And it gives them this knowledge of truth of where things can be. And that's what Scouting does, is it tells them where they can be if they just follow the simple principles of Scouting.
If you give someone a fish, they'll eat for a day. If you teach them how to fish, they'll eat for a lifetime. Scouting is teaching young people how to fish in terms of their moral character, their skills, their abilities, their ability to work with others. That's worth a lifetime.
But I would think 100 years from now, the principles will not change. Fairness, leadership, thoughtfulness, service, those are timeless values.
The old adage, you know, it takes a community. This establishes a community that one can trust and one feels, you know, similar values.
And if you can instill within the boy the Scout Oath and Promise, you've covered a great amount of making a man out of a boy.
They are tomorrow's leaders, and they're right here.
Yes to trustworthy, yes to loyal, yes to brave, yes to reverent, yes to obedient. All of the values that have been defined contribute to a better human being.
We're raising a generation of young people who care about our environment, who care about their fellow man, who have a value system that's sound and time-tested and proven to work, who are going to use those values in the decisions that they make as they walk into the adult world.
It really does teach you that there's a greater good beyond just your own self-interest.